Hi, today I'm gonna do a summer goth makeup look. So if you want a simple goth look that uses minimal products and isn't super heavy in the heat, then this video is for you. Okay, starting off with primer, I'm using the danessa myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder in Universal. This is just the translucent one. I'm just putting this on my nose and on my smile lines. But if you have oily skin or if you sweat a lot, then I would recommend putting primer all over your face. But my skin's really dry, so it's the opposite problem. I don't tend to have a problem with makeup coming off of my face. And then I'm going to use this tinted moisturizer from Odacite. And I'm just using my fingers. Let me put my hair back. Using my fingers to apply it. I like using tinted moisturizers in the summer because they're lighter and this one already has SPF in it, and I feel like most of them do. So it eliminates a step of adding sunblock before foundation. I'll just make sure it's fully blended into my skin by patting it in. And then I'm going to take my Toofaced Born This Way concealer and put a little bit on the back of my hand, and then get a brush, get a little bit of it, and I'm just going to use that to spot conceal. I'm just putting a tiny bit first on top of anywhere that I have redness or like acne scarring or anything, and I'll just let it sit for a little bit. And then I'll wipe off the excess on the brush and use it to blend out the edges. But I'm leaving most of the product on the center of the spot. And like I was saying, I have dry skin, so I kind of like that the tinted moisturizer leaves my skin a little bit greasy. I mean, I'll take any dewiness that I can get, but I do like to take my pressed powder and just put some of that on my smile lines, just because having that area matte makes them look a little bit less prominent. And then, I mean, you probably won't see my forehead because of my bangs, but if you were to see it, I like to mattify the center of my forehead as well. I just think that that looks better. And then also the center of my nose. And I'm going to do a little bit here too. So I guess basically just like the whole center of my face, but then keeping the dewiness to the perimeter. I just dyed my eyebrows, so I don't think I need to do as much as I normally do to them. Not that I do that much to them anyway. So I'm just going to use the Ardell brow glue. Just brush that through my brows. And then use my fingers to kind of pinch it together. Just kind of make them look a little bit thinner and also keep them in place. And I'm also kind of like pushing it down at the tail, again, just to keep it in place. I'm just going to use a brow pencil to extend the tail a little bit on this one, just to make it match with the other one a little bit more. My brows are like completely different though, so just try to get it as close as I can, but they're like completely different shapes. I mean, I think most people are, but also my brows are like just like two different heights, and so are my eyes. I think like everything is very asymmetrical, which I think is why I don't really care that much about symmetry. Okay, moving on to contour, I'm using the Rituel Defy Cream Pigment in Intuition. It's just like a grayish brown contour color. I'm using Real Techniques contour brush. I always forget to say what brush I'm using. I don't really like think about that, but I guess it's probably helpful. And then I'm using a smaller brush to just contour my nose. And then also my bottom lip. Okay, now moving on to the eyes, I will zoom you in for that. I'm going to use the Kaleidos eye primer. And put that on my bottom lid as well. Alright, so the eye look is going to be super simple. I am just going to use this palette from Mob Beauty. It's the Jessica Hayes Try Goth palette. And I'm using the gray in that. And that I will just put all over my lids. Just kind of patting that on first, just to make sure it's as pigmented as it can be. I'll blend that out in a second. First, I'm going to put the same color on my lower lash line. And then I'll just use a blending brush to blend out the edges. Now moving on to eyeliner. Oh, I need to sharpen this first. Alright, I'm gonna put this in my waterline first. Let's see if I can do this while I'm holding a mirror. And I'm gonna bring that into the inner corner. And then I'm going to do a really small wing at the corner of my eye. I'll use a brush to make it more precise and thin at the end, but just to get the product down first. So I'm using an angled brush to just kind of like drag that out a bit. Just to get the wing a little bit sharper. And then I'm just gonna connect the wing to the lash line. But I'm leaving the eyeliner just to the like outer 3/4 of the eye. I'm not going to fully line my lash line. And once this eyeliner sets, it really stays in place all day. It does not budge. Now going back to the eyeshadow palette, I'm using the black color in it and taking that on a little bit of a smaller brush, like a small pencil brush, and then I will just go over the eyeliner. Like I said, the eyeliner sets pretty well, but just to be on the safe side, this will just help it a bit. And also, mainly, this is just to like smudge it out a bit. Keeping the eyeshadow to the outer corner of my eye as well. I'm gonna curl my lashes, and then I'm gonna use some lash primer. This will just hopefully help the mascara stay on all throughout the day. Again, I don't really have a problem with that, but if you are someone that has watery eyes or, again, like oily skin, then I would definitely suggest lash primer and a waterproof mascara. I don't have one right now, but I have this Kosas soulgazer mascara that I just got and wanted to try out, so let's see how it is. But yeah, I like waterproof mascara just like in general more than normal mascara. I feel like it holds the curl better. I think it's looking good so far. My lashes look pretty big. Okay, I think I got some on my lid, but I'll just wait till it dries and then take it off with a Q-tip. Do my bottom lashes as well. Well, I like this mascara so far. I feel like I'll need to use it a few more times to really see if I like it better than the Toofaced Better Than Sex mascara that I normally use. The waterproof version of that is my absolute favorite. I just really like the wand on it, but this one is good too, so. I'm gonna use some of the leftover gray shadow on this brush to emphasize my eye bags. An optional step, of course. I know some people don't like this look, but now moving on to lips. I'm gonna keep the lip balm on my lips and I'm gonna use this black lip liner from Half Magic and I'm just gonna line my lips. I find it so much easier to line my lips when I have some lip balm still on. It just goes on so much smoother. And then I can smudge it out as well, which I like to do. I just need to fix up this part a little bit. I just smudged it out a little bit too far. And now I'm going to use the Sushi Glow Lotus Mud and Wilting Blossom. It is the black one. I'm going for a very soft, kind of grayish black lip color. I just think that that's nice for the summer, and then also I think it just looks better on me. I'm just gonna put a little bit more powder on the same areas that I put it before. Oh, almost forgot to remove the mascara from my lid. To be honest, I don't really care much about this. Like, I don't even normally remove it, but I feel like on camera it'll just look better. Let me just go back over it with some of the gray eyeshadow. You know, I think I made it worse. Maybe it wasn't fully dry yet. Huh. Well, okay. I don't really know what to do about that. Okay, well, how about we all just ignore that? That is good to know for the future. I probably should have removed it in a different way. I've seen people use like dry spoolies to like scratch it off, but that sounds kind of painful, so I don't really like things scratching at my eye. I'm just gonna use a liquid eyeliner to draw a beauty mark. And I'll do another one here too. And then I'm gonna use the One Size Powder Melt Glass Setting Spray and set my makeup. I don't know if I can ever really tell a difference between setting sprays, but I've been liking this one recently. I like that it leaves a kind of glossy finish and it has a good mist. Alright, well, I think this is the finished look. Very, very simple and easy, quick. I've been doing like a variation of this makeup look for the past week and it's stayed pretty well, even though it has been hot and I have been sweating. And I also just love that it's so quick to do. Doing my makeup in the heat, especially since my apartment gets super hot, I just want to do a look that takes like 5 minutes. And this look may be too heavy for some people in the summer, but for people who are used to wearing like a lot of makeup, I think this is pretty light. And here is the makeup with my glasses, in case anyone was curious. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more videos. That is all for today. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one.